New Balance Nationals in New York, and they received first place in the 4x2, and fifth in the Emerging Elite 200, and Zamir Thomas, the second fastest in the state of New Jersey's history, received a disappointing 12. Now, if you look back at last year's Nationals, Zamir Thomas went into Nationals, into the finals, seeded #1. This year, he didn't make it to the finals. Now, the question I want to ask is, why? What was the difference between this year and last year? If you don't know the answer, I'll provide it to you. Zamir Thomas's coaches, the whole coaching staff was basically reestablished. Everyone was removed, and it was replaced with individuals who education of the sport was low. So they would go to track practice, and the athletes will now be coaching the coaches. At the sectionals meet, they arrived there an hour late, and he missed the 400-meter dash. Now, if you don't understand what that meant that he couldn't run at groups, he couldn't run at meter champs. So that means he missed 3 other races where he could have lowered his time and became the state champion in the 400 meters. Now, I just want to know, can you provide me with some answers for why is this transition from last year happening now? Why is this low time rate that he's having, why is this happening now?
I don't really know if I have an answer to that question, young man. I did have some conversation earlier with the associate superintendent because I heard about this late, 4:30. And I mean, I know Zaire and I know his family, I know his mother. It seems a little ridiculous to me, but the understanding that I have, I'll let you talk to Ms. Ruane, is that you have to run an X amount of meets to qualify. And he did not qualify because he did not run, because he was running in other meets outside the school meets. That's the information I got. Whether it's correct or incorrect, that's the information that I got. So right now, whether we answer your questions or not, it's not going to change anything. I don't know how I could change that for you, unless there's someone that I have to speak to, and I don't know if they're going to change their ruling why Zamir is not a part of that. Ms. Ruane is sitting right there with the white sweater on. She'll be able, you know Zamir?
No.
Oh, okay, is he here?
Yes.
Where's Zamir? Well, but anyway, let me talk to Ms. Ruane, and Ms. Ruane has some answers, because they did explain it to me today, but I cannot explain to you what happened last year and this year, what's the difference. I do know that we put coaches back because there were some issues, and we did do that, but you have to be a part of the school. You can't create another track team with the same name of Snyder on it. That you can't do. So that's why that's not accepted. I mean, and I do know some particulars, but I don't have the answers. I don't know what can be changed. I just think Zamir has to do what he has to do. I do know that he's the fastest in the state, and I do know how good he is. That I do know. Yeah, Miss Ruane is right there. She'll be the only one that can answer that question.
With the chair, Mr. Warren.
Zamir's mom has called me on numerous occasions as well, and that might be true, Dr. But I do know for a fact that on more than one occasion, according to the mom, that the buses, whether it be our fault or not, were late in getting some of these young men to races, which may have also caused them not to qualify. I've spoken to Ms. Ruane about that as well. I've heard from several of the track team members as well as their parents that brought this issue up in the very beginning, various different reasons why these young men may not have qualified. But I thought it was a travesty because you have a talented young man, talented young men running the track team. And for some people, this is their only way, or this on top of whatever they're doing is a way to reach the top. And we've been talking about Zamir for a while. For some strange reason, that track team, according to the parents, doesn't receive, and this is according to the parents, doesn't receive the attention that some of the other teams may receive in this district. I can't understand why myself, but I've been in constant contact. It's a shame that we have a talented young man who was able to repeat himself and through no fault of his own for most of it. I understand that these kids were running to stay fresh at the beginning of the year because they did not have a coach who was a track coach. I'm speaking on their behalf because I've heard from, again, these children and their parents. The coach that were teaching them earlier on was not a track coach, and they felt that he wasn't learning anything from this individual. And they decided to keep fresh by running in other clubs so that they can compete when they did get someone who could teach them what they needed to be taught in order to contend.
Mr. Woodham, that's very interesting information you've given us. And Dr. Epps, we're going to ask you to
If you want Ms. Rain to
look
give
into
you a
this.
quick summary, she can, or she can put it to the.
I think we need an explanation from, if you look into this, because there's some things about bus service I'm hearing something about coaches, I'm hearing something about out of school meets. These all should be, before you make a comment about these, I think you really should do some investigating of this, because I think it's has some deep implications. As Mr. Woodham points out, I'm not sure if all these things are accurate or not, but it's serious enough to investigate, I'll tell you that much, because it shouldn't happen, should not happen, that's for sure. My alma mater, and I would not like to see my alma mater be shortchanged at all, and so Dr. Epps, I'm going to ask you to do some research on this and get back to all of us on this, because this is important enough to really quickly as well. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.